Kensei, and there you go, you spoke Japanese.
Yeah. And all the fucking weird ass words that everybody says.
Or Nabushi.
Yeah.
Or literally anything in that entire list.
Just say the names of any of the samurai hero except for Shinobi.
Hey, if you want to speak Chinese, say Tiandi or Zanyu. Or Shaolin. Oh, Shaolin. That's a little off sometimes. Because it means something else.
Shinobi might be a Japanese word. No.
I'll check here in a second.
What's this? Oh.
Shinobi. A ninja, Japanese pronunciation, or shinobi, was a covert agent or mercenary in feudal Japan. The functions of a ninja included espionage, deception, and surprise attacks. The covert methods of waging irregular warfare were deemed dishonorable and beneath the honor of the samurai.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why they're Ronins. So they are Japanese as far as we know. Some of them might hail from China, but... and maybe their name even means something in Chinese, but they're still Japanese.
I think that I'm thinking of the original ninjas.
You probably are.
The original ninjas were Chinese, but shinobi were probably Japanese.
There's also a common misconception, because they never wore black. They actually wore normal clothes to blend in.
If they were going undercover, they would wear normal clothes, and if they were at night, they would wear blue.
Yeah. Because if you wear black, that's kind of stupid.
The blue actually blends in with the sky.
And if you're during the day and you see someone wearing black, you're like, oh, that's a little weird. Because, like, obviously everyone's wearing, like, unique patterns and colors, and there's just all a guy wearing black.
Usually they just wear standard farmer clothes, because that's usually what they wear.
Honestly, if I saw someone wearing black, I'd be like, okay, he's definitely an assassin, kill him. There's no way he isn't.
Fucking, the stereotypical ninja shit is not accurate at all.
Yeah. But hey, they're cool. They look cooler when they're black.
Yeah. Like Snake Eyes, he's fucking cool. What the fuck is happening there?
Not to mention, like all the other stereotypical things with evil people, it's always red, black, and other darker colors.
Yeah.
They're just
like
kind of associated. Yeah. Or literally the entire empire. Well, except for the stormtroopers.
The Sith in general.
The only reason they're white is because it was for a scare tactic.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty fucking terrified if I saw just white. I'd be like, oh man, that's... oh no.
I think to make them intimidating, they just had a shit ton of white guys.
Yeah, they all made them look exactly the same for intimidation, so you couldn't tell who was who.
And their helmets slightly resemble skulls.
Yeah, there was that too. It kind of looks like a skeleton in a way. Apparently Shinobi is a video game. Nice to know.
There's also fucking whatever Ryu Hayabusa is from. Fucking Ninja Gaiden.
Shinobu means to conceal oneself in Japanese.
Oh.
Cool. And shinobis is the plural. Well, you can either call them shinobi or shinobis. That's their plurals. Ninja, a warrior that practices ninjutsu. That makes sense. And then obviously ninjutsu is the martial art of the ninja. And there's something else for a female ninja, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. So I guess if you were a female ninja, you were pronounced differently. Cool.
You know, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat's kind of a real ninja.
Makes sense. Also, that motherfucker dead.
Technically, yes.
one of them is dead.
Canonically, Scorpion is dead.
The old Scorpion is dead.
No, new Scorpion's dead.
Yeah, the old one's still alive. It's weird to think about, yes, but technically that's how it is.
Rather, current Scorpion is dead. Present timeline version.
Alright, I'm gonna read the Shinobi thing from the For Honor thing. So this is gonna be, obviously, a little bit different. Theirs was a secret society. Even we samurai were not sure if they even existed or if they were just a myth until they came out of the shadow, Shinobi. Their weapon, whatever that is like no other. It echoes through our past and proves they are indeed from our blood. Trained in secret, their presence on the battlefield is felt before they're even seen. We knew they were always close, waiting for the right moment to strike. They have now entered this war and won't leave until the job is done. Oh, that's... wow. It makes me want to play them more now. Oh wait, I'm streaming, ain't I?
Wow.
Yeah, the stream's up if you want to go and watch. I'm just staring at Shinobi and Shaolin right now. Okay. The Shinobi are silent warriors who move with a dancer's grace and kill with precision that can only come from a lifetime of disciplined training. They were told as only being a myth, but this was intended by the secret society, which kept their training and existence a secret. Hence the secret society. While their brethren, Aramusha, are brash enforcers, the Shinobi are tasked with undercover work. Not much else is known about the Shinobi than their agility, their magic-like ninja arts, and their skill that lets them dispatch enemies quickly with the whatever that is they hold in each hand. The Shinobi takes on the image of the ninja in pop culture, clad in dark Shinobi stuff with ropes, bombs, and a grappling hook hanging from their belt with a... I don't know any of this stuff, covering their face. Essentially a mask. Leather armor cover parts of the body, but most determinately the arms, upper chest, and shoulders.
Mobility.
Yeah. That's what the samurai were all about. Mobility.
I mean, some of them.
Well, that's why their armor was the way it was. Mobility and the fact that it was basically impenetrable.
Some of their armor was also made of paper.
Yeah, that too. It was a mix. It was like I think it was like paper, bamboo, and just a bunch of other stuff.
I think it was like folded up bamboo paper or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
Fucking weird though. There's also some that had steel. At least I think it was steel.
Yeah, some use steel.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Like on my Kensei outfit, you can see some like steel spikes. And Nabushi, she's a mercenary, but one of her bodies actually has a steel chest plate. Which is probably the most you're ever going to see in a samurai. At least in this game, anyway. I really wish they'd add some more realistic, like, samurai armor. I mean, let's face it, the stuff we got right now is not very accurate. Kind of.
No.
I mean, it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Alright. Whatever weapon they use, the traditional Japanese weapon consists of a kama, I don't know, a Japanese sickle with a chain and weight attached. It is brutal in close quarters, but can also be thrown and retracted for medium distant attacks. Ooh. Trivia. Shinobi literally means patience, endure, or conceal, and this is a short version of ninja, or shinobi no mano. Mono? I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. One who waits patiently for the right opportunity to strike. Shinobi and For Honor were inspired by their real-life and pop culture counterparts, also referred to as ninja, which is another word for spy. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. Unlike pop culture tendency to make the ninja into assassins dressed in a black... I don't know. Real-life ninja would usually dress themselves as ordinary people to avoid suspicion or any attire that best suited their mission, like we were saying. However, it is possible the shinobi did wear shinobi, essentially what we see on them, but one's colored to blend into the environment. Or during the nighttime, essentially. Be cool to be a shinobi.
That was gonna be hard.
That was a lot of discipline. But it'd be totally worth it. I mean, you get to be an assassin. Who'd want to be an assassin?
They also got a big guy.
Yeah, that too. But in this one, they just beat the hell out of everybody. You done messed with the wrong man. Unless you're a level 1 bot.
They used that weapon a lot because it was hard to counter.
Unless you're in For Honor, of course.
So yeah, doing 4 honors, fuck it.
Because apparently everybody knows what it is.
Basically fucking cheating 4 honors.
I like Shinobi though. I don't know, I like playing him. I'm not very good, but I'm decent enough. I think Noah might be in the same boat.
What?
We're not the best with Shinobi, but we're decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to main Shinobi and it was fucking terrible.
Speaking of which, we're gonna play some Dominion here in a sec.
Nuxia.
Oh man, Naramusha's great. I love him. Speaking of which, I just got into Rep 2. Like, a little while earlier.
Well, I must admit, Aramusha is a great zone middle clear. Great at middle clear.
Oh, he definitely is. Because 1, he can light spam, and 2, his zone is ridiculous. Because it has 2 separate attacks. Anyways, black clothes like those in-game would stand out even during the night. Instead, dark blue was used as night as the color blended in better. Historical shinobi's primary duties were espionage, sabotage, and guerrilla warfare, while occasionally carrying out assassination attempts. Pop culture, especially those of the West, may portray the ninja as combat intended, and while they did certain have martial arts training, the shinobi would do what they can to avoid conflict. I can see why. You aren't exactly built for combat. You're not like...
You're mostly just hit and run tactics.
You're not exactly a lawbringer. You don't have a ton of armor. You got some leather, and that's about it. That's all you got.
Sometimes they would have chainmail. Most of the time, it was just either leather or just not having armor.
Yeah, all the bodies that are in For Honor is just leather, and that's it. Maybe some spikes here and there, but I don't know how it's going to stop a sword. Keyword's not. While ninja/shinobi are often portrayed as sworn enemies of the samurai in pop culture due to differences in their honor codes, shinobi were often working for daimyo lords, with many shinobi having been samurai or ronin. Oh, I didn't know they worked with the samurai. Cool.
So that's probably why they're in the samurai faction then.
Yeah, I guess that'd explain it.
I have crippling gay.
Dude, same. I have half Kipling gay.
You're also crippling gay?
Yep.
I guess I could say I'm in the same boat where I'm half crippling gay.
Ouch. Shinobi and Shaman are currently the only heroes who will crouch when at a ledge, unlike other heroes who simply lean over while standing to look. Oh. Cool. For the Shinobi, this comes with a unique animation where upon hopping off a ledge for a ledge kill, the Shinobi will do a flip in the air before landing on their Really? I didn't know that. I've never actually done it before. I'll have to try it.
I don't think I have either.
You willing to try it with me, Noah?
What?
Jumping down on you with Shinobi, because apparently they do a flip. I kind of want to try it out once. In contrast to popular myth, you cannot slide tackle off a ledge that leads to an environmental hazard. Slide tackle follows the same rules as other charge moves such as Shigoki's charge or the Oni or Warlord's crashing charge. Oh man. I think it must have been a glitch then. Super Sprint is based off the running style that ninja are commonly seen used in pop culture, with possibly the greatest influence from the Naruto run. Yeah, that makes sense.
This isn't our to run.
Yeah, it took a lot of inspiration from it.
I mean, granted that they did do that so they didn't cut themselves, but I mean, still it's fucking stupid.
It does look really dumb. Let's read up on the Hitokiri.
Oh yeah, weren't they like assassins?
I'm not sure. They were essentially just like a reaper in their own way. They actually considered themselves a reaper because they were like surrounded by death, as evident by the game. The samurai have a name for former executioners, and that's what they are. Hitokiri, a word that means manslayers with no heart. These ghostly warriors have lost all faith in humanity. They wander the land clutching their masakari, the mighty axes they use to sentence criminals. Their presence in the battlefield spreads a dark cloud of death that can terrify all enemies. Yeah, that was a sunken mask. Armor. The Hitokiri wear Japanese ceremonial garbs made of leather, linen, and cotton, colored with ashen gray and crimson with rope for both their upper body and limbs, with something steel armor covering their shoulders. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Forearms and shins. They also wear a large waistcloth known as the uwa-obi, I don't know, eerily decorated with white puppet heads that symbolize the victims they've executed. I don't have very many on this specific body, but there's quite a few in the default. The mask they wear is completely white with a face that is both ominous and sunken, lacking any sign of remorse or emotion. The ropes for the mask is lined with cloth streamers, and on the mask's face, a reminder of their status as executioners is etched upon it. Really? Oh yeah, it is. I was wondering what that meant. Onto their weapon, the Masakari axe. This large double-headed axe has been used by the Hitokiri to deal with the death blow in executions. Although heavy like the Kanabo, which I think is Shukoki's weapon. Yeah. Using its two heads to the weapon's full capacity requires a truly skilled manhunter. Like the Hito. Trivia. As mentioned in the overview, Hitokiri means manslayer or murderer. Just like the Black Friar, the Hitokiri's ornament is located on the shoulders. Yeah, all four year 3 are like that. Hitokiri is also currently the only hero of the samurai faction who features metal as their material customization choice, iron, bronze, copper, etc., compared to the cloth/wood customization choice given to the samurai and Vikings. Cool. Just like the Aramusha, the Hitokiri has tattoos in some of their armor choices, showcasing demons and spirits. This follows a possibility of tattoos in ancient Japan being implemented for spiritual purposes. Check General Tozen's trivia section for more tattoos. Ooh, General Tozen, he's cool. The Masakare is an axe of the larger variant in Japan. It should not be mistakenly interchangeable with the term of ono, or axe, which is the general classification term for axes in Japanese. Axes, not asses. While the term Masakare is specifically given to large axes or an axe with an exceptionally long cutting edge. Historically, the Masakare was not actually used as much on the battlefield, as noted by Roman. Who? and the April 25th, and 2019 Warriors Den stream. Okay, that makes sense. So they say, who the hell is Roman? It was meant for wood cutting and was a tool adapted for being an improvised weapon, much like the shinobi's. The Masakari also only had one blade head. The design team went for 2 in order to distinguish it from other axe-like weapons in the game, such as the Raiders and Lawbringers. Oh. Weird. The Hitokiri uniquely has ambient sounds of walking outside guard mode, where aside from the raspy breathing, there is an ominous hum. Really? This is counted as an FX, therefore controlled by FX volume in the volume menu. Oh, I'll have to try that. On the Hitokiri's helm set, words are carved or written either on the helm or the face.
The only problem I have with this game is that Cal is fucking stupid. Like, you try to do some platforming shit, and he just doesn't fucking do it.
Here we are. This is what I was talking about. The Sakura Spirit Helmet, or that's just the female Hitokiri, Sakura. I think that's how you pronounce it. Set features the following writing, which translates to "Do not forget, I am the Reaper." That's where I got that from. The Yukito's Shadow Helmet, which is the male, set features the following writing. This roughly translates to "Everything that dies becomes mine." God, these are scary. The Emna helmet features the following writing. This translates to "I am the Reaper." Emna? Do I have that? I do. I just unlocked, or I don't have it unlocked, but I just got it for Rep 3, or Rep 4 rather. The North Star helmet, I don't think I have that one. No, I don't. Where was I? Features the following writing. This translates to "You are already dead," and is a famous quote from the action anime series Fist of the North Star, referenced by the set's name. Sakura, or Cherry Blossom, that's a weird name, as the name is not uncommon in Japan. The cherry blossoms have been a symbolism for mortality and the transient nature of life.
I was gonna tell you that Sakura means cherry blossom, but you already figured it out.
Yeah. Yato, or Yato, I don't know, likely is a reference to Yato no Kami? I don't know. Or God of the Night Sword, who are snake deities of Japanese folklore. Ooh. The Yato no Kami were rumored to have brought extermination to whoever had seen them, together with the family of that individual. Soon enough, they were killed, enshrined, and banished to the mountains.
Oh. Weird.
Yeah, that is weird. This one is about their moveset, so I'm going to look at their moveset. Mugen Ryu literally translates to "Way of the Infinite" or "Infinite Style." And that's funny because that's the infinite chain. I think.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Mikai, or something, translates to "lower world" or "hell." Where's that one at? Oh. Oh, that's like the Hyper Shield light attack she does. Mangetsu translates to "full moon." And which one is that one? That one's something. Mangetsu Rift is the unblockable. Ray, from Ray Kick and Ray Sweep, translates into "spirit," as that is utilized in the Japanese localization. Sankotsu refers to the act of scattering the ashes of someone who was cremated. Oh boy, this is a big one. Senbon Zakura, something like that, 1,000 cherry petals, refers to a phrase that has been used popularly throughout Japanese popular culture, from song titles to terms used in manga/anime. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It was used in older media too, such as kabuki plays. I'm learning.
It's okay, you're butchering like half the words.
Yeah, you try and fucking say these.
I mean, I probably could, but I don't wanna.
Oh, I doubt you could. Neither of us speak Japanese.
I know how they're pronounced, I just don't know what the half of them mean.
The term originates from the prefecture known as Nara, I think, and is meant to be an expression in regards to the sight of many cherry blossoms blooming in spring. Quotes, whatever she says in this, "I am the shadow itself." That's from the female Hito. And this one's from the male, from the Mangetsu Rift, the one I was talking about. He also says "I am." Oh, he just says "I'm the shadow" instead. Female for the...
One of them says that they are death, and the other one says that they're the god of death.
Yeah. For the Mikai Rift, the female says "I'll cut you down" or "I'll behead you," and the male says "Take this" or "Eat this." Wow. For the Ray Kick, a Re-Kick, I don't know. The female says "I am the Reaper" or "I am the Death God," and the male says "I am Death."
Shinigami means death god.
For the sweet version, the female says "Entrust your soul to me," and the male says "Entrust your soul to me," same thing.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Oh boy. This is a really long one. I don't know what it is. It could just be a lot of the moves she does. Oh, tainted gift feet background SFX on target. English, I'll take your soul. More, I want more. The smell of blood guides me, and whatever that is. Essentially, don't underestimate me. When she uses whatever that is, one of the feats in the butterfly beheading execution, she says, "Death to my opponent," and the male says, "Death to all." And that's it. Let's see what we got of us sent. Keto. She's definitely one of my favorites. Overview. Cent doesn't have a lot. The Centurion sees the battlefield like a chessboard. Each warrior has their part to play, and sometimes sacrifices need to be made. This is the nature of war, and the Centurion revels in it. Neat. The Centurion wears a metal face mask, giving him the face of a whatever that means, warrior. I'd imagine just a face, or just a motionless. He wears a metal something cuirass and bracers. He also wears a, oh my god, what are these words? A helmet that lacks its iconic decorative crest. Oh. Oh, does it mean the floof? I have the floof. One of them. There's like two altogether, I think. I got the one from year 3. Let me see if I can find the other one. Yeah, here it is. I think the other one looks a lot better. But I like my floof. Alright, his weapon, the Gladius, is standard issue Roman weaponry, is perfectly forged for cutting, chopping, and thrusting. Its short blade works well when mixing in the use of his fist to punch his opponent, but it's also very terrible. Trivia. The Centurion, obviously, was inspired by their real-life counterparts. Historical Centurions were officers in the Roman army. They were named so because they would lead groups known as Centuria. Really?
Interesting.
Weird. The metal face mask worn by the Centurion was not worn by historical Centurions. Oh. They were worn by Roman cavalry during training, ritual tournaments, or parades, as face protection for the former two, but were never used in the battlefield, evident, and they would greatly hinder one's peripheral vision. Yeah, that makes sense. Didn't they use, like, the open face masks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can actually see out of those. I mean, your face is exposed, but... eh. If you can block properly, then you should be okay.
Spartan helmets were better. They had more protection around the face.
Oh, that's true. They were kind of similar, except Spartans were a lot better.
Yeah.
Historical
Except
Centurions would wear... Oh, boy. All that. That is the default outfit for the game Centurion. In the world of For Honor, it was believed that the Centurions of the Empire they came from were lost in the Cataclysm. Oh. That's why they're here. But, unbeknown to most, they have survived and warlords such as Apollyon have met them. And then Centurion is voiced by Derek Seguin. He sounds like a fun fellow.
Derek.
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 My name Derek, and I'm here to teach you about...
You know, I'll know MK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was his name like fucking Damien or something?
Damian Lee.
Like when he says dipstick. I don't know why it's really funny.
He's no gone.
Yeah, I know. He has his own channel, though.
Yeah. He has his own personal channel.
Dipstick. Oh my god. I miss his weird New York voice.
Fucking... His face cam videos are great.
I'm sorry, Ellie. She's laying on my leg, and I just so happen to twitch right at this very moment. The execution, Polis Verso, I don't speak Latin, okay? Was inspired by its historical counterpart. That one that I just mentioned is an expression that translates roughly to turned thumb and refers to the hand gesture used by ancient Rome's crowds when passing judgment on a defeated gladiator. The expression became notable in 1872 when French painter that guy named a painting after the phrase. The painting causes dispute to this day as it depicts a peasant giving the thumbs down sign to the gladiator. Historians argue that the meaning of the sign as it was believed to mean spare the life. Well, this one he just straight up cuts off their arm.
I got a
Is that why
question.
one of his executions he does a thumb down?
Yeah. It's called the police verso or whatever. You can look at it now. He just cuts his arm off.
Should I have a pink or purple blade for my lightsaber?
Oh. You should go with pink, yeah. You don't see pink very much.
I'm doing pink.
I was about to say purple, but we must let Mace Windows rest in peace.
Especially at this point, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, there's no way he's alive. I still don't even know who Snoke is. I don't even know who he is.
He was the Emperor.
Oh.
I think he was just like controlling someone.
That makes sense.
Either that or Snoke was just not real.
I don't know. All I know is that he was cut in half.
Yeah, he got it.
He
Whatever
got his...
Snoke was. Whatever Snoke was, just fucking up now.
I saw a meme where it was one of the younglings.
Oh yeah, one of the younglings Anakin tried to kill.
Yeah. What is up with Sen's obsession of cutting people's arms off?
I don't know.
He does it like almost every execution.
Why? I have a pink lightsaber.
The execution alla laxta est is a play on the Latin phrase that means it means the die is cast, and then the other, or no, the phrase, the Latin phrase means the die is cast, and the execution means the arm is cast, referring to the loss of the target's arm. Because for some reason he likes to cut him off. Oh yeah, he does cut it off, doesn't he? The execution veni... I don't even know. Is a Latin phrase popularly attributed to Julius Caesar, where it means I came, I saw, I conquered. Oh, I didn't know I meant that. This movie is a reference to the movie Troy, specifically the first fight in the movie that is between the protagonist Achilles? Is that his name?
Yeah.
And some other guy. The execution... I don't know what it is. It translates to boldly and rightly, is the clan motto of Clan Elliot. Like the execution, it takes guts, maybe a reference to a scene in the 2000 historical drama film Gladiator, before the final fight that occurs between Maximus and Commodus, or I don't know. The movie's protagonist and antagonist, respectively. Commodus embraces Maximus only to stab him in the side to gain an advantage. What's it called? It takes guts. Where is it? Oh, I actually have this one. That's a really cool execution. I like it. The execution. Okay, I just read that one. The execution. I'm just gonna call it Spina. Is a play on the Latin phrase that, or actually, I can probably pronounce it per aspera and astra, I think, which means through hardship to the stars. I can see how astra would mean that. It's kind of similar to the words in English. It wouldn't surprise me if we took inspiration from it. That execution through means through the spine to the arm, which is exactly what he does. Particularly, a spina sounds like a pun to aspera or aspira. I don't know. I don't speak Latin. Obviously, incredibilis means I am incredible. That's kind of obvious. His unblockable heavy attack means I am unrestrained. His Talon jump attack, brutal beating execution, and knock yourself out execution translates to you are weak or weakling. Eagle Talon's jump attack non-fatal while backing up, I think that's the one where it's on the ground, means come on slash... or come on or keep going. I kind of knew that one too. His uppercut execution means this fight isn't over, even though they're dead. The Alalakta S execution means move. It translates to move. It takes gut execution, it translates to never again will you kill anyone. I knew that. When he uses his feet catapult against an enemy, it says throw it there. Okay, so there's a few. It said okay, all of them are throw it there, make them fear, send it now, and hurl it there. And that's all there is for him. Who should we do next? Alright, Jormungandr it is. The Jormungandr rise for the great battle of Ragnarok. Formed after the Cataclysm, the Jormungandr drew their numbers from those rejected by the Vikings. Oh wow, they were rejected by them. Skin deformities swept the north in the post-Cataclysm. The victims bonded from their shared deformities, a snake-like scaling. Oh. That's why the Jormungandr looks so weird. They named themselves for the serpent Jormungandr that, according to Viking beliefs, fatally poisoned Thor. They've grown into an insular dark sect that believes itself risen from the fall of Thor before Ragnarok. Their rite of passage is a deadly ritual that honors their painful origins. Their skin is burned with acid to harden it with serpent scales. Their limbs are crushed by a sacred hammer. Many die from the ritual. The survivors are branded with the Warhammer, or hammer, to mark them as the mighty Jormungandr warriors, which is just a hammer we see now. Jormungandr is a terrifying sight. They fight to crush the weak before the coming of Ragnarok. To believe only the most worthy must remain for the great battle. Well, that probably explains why they crush your nuts. I like Jormungandr. I think they're really cool. They're overpowered too. But that's what makes them fun.
Stop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm talking.
I'm gonna stop anyways.
Security droids are dicks.
Are those the big black ones?
Yeah.
I liked that one in Rogue One. He was really the only good character out of all of them.
He was the best.
He also really had a really sad death.
Yeah.
I have to admit, Disney's pretty damn good at making sad deaths.
Yeah.
Anyways. Armor. The Jormungandr are feral warriors who wear their devotion to the great serpent on their scarred bodies. Some even whisper they paint their body with the blood and ground bones of their victims and use human bones and leather for clothing. Oh wow, that's fucking brutal. Together with a cloth tunic and pants they wear fur pelt around their neck with nets and fishhooks decorated to remind themselves of the crashing waves and the great serpent. They run bare feet while their arms are guarded with leather braces over bandages. Their face are pierced with ornaments in dedication to their cult. Oh yeah, they do have a lot of them. Their weapon. The Warhammer, a blunt weapon that utilizes a large striking head in conjunction with a handle that can be used one-handed or two-handed. Expert use of this weapon needs strength, but also the ability to use its weight head's momentum for devastating strikes and explosive knockback. Neat. On to the trivia. Jormungandr, which is Old Norse for huge monster, is a mythic sea serpent that grew so large it was able to surround the earth and grasp its own tail. As a result, it received the name of the Midgard serpent or world serpent. It is foretold when it releases its tail, Ragnarok, the Norse equivalent to Judgment Day, will begin. According to the... whatever that is, Odin took Loki's 3 children by... that thing. The wolf Fenrir, Hel, and Jormungandr, and tossed Jormungandr into the great ocean that encircled Midgard. This may be why there is the presence of the ocean in Jormungandr's reveal trailer, their backstories along with the presence of fishhooks and nets on their outfits. And Holda means the hidden manuscript, which Holda is just a female. Yormi. I don't know what the male's name is. Official Ubisoft sources called Jormungandr's weapon a warhammer, or hamar, I don't know. The term hamar is Old Norse for hammer, obviously, but also for stone or a steep cliff. The skin disorder that initially bonded the Jormungandr cult may be... whatever that is. A disorder that causes dry, scaly skin. Ugh. Following the trend of Year 3 heroes, Jormungandr's ornament is obviously located on the shoulder. All of them are. The Jotun Surge translates to infidel. Jotun Farewell and Jotun Gift translates to unworthy. Jotun Surge on exhausted enemies translates to take a nap. Hamar Slam translates to no mercy. Heavy Finishers translate to Valhalla. Oh, that makes sense. I think it's usually they're unblockable. Jotun Grudge translates to away. Zealot's Bolt translates to by Thor's hammer. And Twilight of the Gods translates to Ragnarok. Cool. What are we gonna do now? Man. What about Zanyu? I don't know anything about Zanyu.
They hit a purge trooper within like 5 more enemies.
Excellence is a journey where the weak lurk in shadows, yet my blade burns stronger. One by one I smother death. I reap their flames, let them fear me. In the midst of war I breathe fire. Oh wow. That's his that's what he says during his trailer. Oh. The overview. Always highly respected and powerful, the Zanyu were once the right hands of powerful rulers. As key representatives of the Wulin emperors, the Zanyu would consider their lives forfeit, subservient to the will of their leaders. They were duty-bound to execute the emperor's decrees at any cost. All other considerations were secondary. Oh. Cool. The Zanyu of today are the true masters of artillery. Only a few can learn how to tame the fire, wield the deadly Chengdao, I think that's how you say that. It sounds Chinese enough. And achieve the title of Zanyu. One should fear these unpredictable warriors, as they've devised many ways to slice and burn their enemies to the ground. Now that I think about it, I wonder if that's why Zanyu has a burn on his face. Because he was trying to master fire. He's got like a really bad burn and a scar over his eye, which I'd imagine was from a sword. A lot of his, almost all of his helmets have a scar of sorts. Yeah, this one has like a weird scar, looks like from a blade. This one has that burn. This one doesn't appear to have one. Oh yeah, there's a few actually. A few minor scratches. Armor. As protectors of powerful rulers, the Zanyu do not go unnoticed in the battlefield. Wearing silk garments with embroidered patterns, they do not need heavy armor to protect themselves. These skilled sword masters prefer light cuirasses or lamellar armors that do not hinder their mobility. As very obvious. Their weapon, the Chengdao, a single-bladed Chinese greatsword that requires great skill and patience to wield, but rewards prowess with devastating strikes. We're already on to the trivia. On the Chinese version of the game, the name of this hero is written as that, which literally translates to slaying tiger or cutting tiger. This name is a reference to that, which translates to war tiger.
Oh. Gravity. Yeah.
The Zanyu are very likely based off of whatever that is, or the blockade-clad guard. The guys were the imperial secret police and later a military body that served the emperors of the Ming dynasty in China. As a secret police, they had the authority to overrule judicial proceedings and prosecutions with full control over the arrest, interrogation, and punishment of an individual, including other nobles and imperial family members. They were also tasked with collecting military intelligence and partaking in battle planning. Weird. Their name comes from how these guards donned a distinctly patterned, typically golden yellow uniform and a tablet on their torso. I'm just gonna call them Jins. The Jin were handpicked from the military and brought up as children, receiving special martial arts training on top of wielding swords made of a special type of steel. The hat the Zanyu wears in their default outfit is called a futao. Futo, I don't know. Also known as the... whatever that is. Normal citizens were not allowed to wear it unless attending a wedding or an event involving any noble or imperial family member. In modern China, that hat is commonly used as a metaphor for officials and government posts. Weird. Zanyu is the first hybrid hero to not have their gender locked. Prior to them, all hybrids had locked genders. Upon introduction, in-game displays stated that he had the Vanguard Renown gain modifier, although Zanyu was correctly affected by the hybrid modifiers. This has since been fixed. Oh man. Zanyu is the only hero in Year of the Harbinger that is not a heavy class. Oh yeah, he isn't, is he? I always thought he was a heavy. Through the official website, says the Zanyu do not wear heavy armor as to not restrict mobility. Realistically, heavy armor does not significantly affect the wearer's mobility. That's kind of obvious. I'm gonna skip all that stuff. Alright, who next? What about Tiandi? My boy. The Tiandi are loyal protectors to kings, queens, and emperors. Their name, which means heaven and earth, represents their lifelong dedication. They are masters of the Dao Blade, the weapon of choice for this royal guard. The Tiandi take an oath of loyalty to the ruler. It is an oath that binds them to the ruler for life. They are renowned for their courage and dignity in battle. When a Tiandi's ruler loses their life, the Tiandi becomes a terrifying warrior free of constraints. They fight with the same dedication, but their cause is only known to them, which is the ones we see now. The Tiandi wears a metal cuirass. Dragons are engraved into their pauldrons and spikes protrude from their bracers and greaves. Folds cover their legs and is held up by a thick belt. A single decorative feather rests atop their helmet. Here, we can play some duels or brawls.
I already got into a match.
God damn it. The weapon. The Dao, single-handed Chinese saber or broadsword made to cut down enemies in a flurry of slashes. There's only 3 known Tiandi. Wow.
Oh.
Trivia. Tiandi's armor is inspired by the Su, maybe? I was going to say Su Dynasty, armor in ancient China, which was 581 to 618 CE. The Dao Blade was a first teased weapon, thus was the first hint as to what was the upcoming faction. The name Tiandi means heaven and earth, referring to the ancient Chinese description of the world. Tiandi's fighting style resembles that of the... whatever that is. The execution... that is a 4-character idiom which means very easy. As easy as turning over a hand. This is coupled with how the execution may be a possible reference to kung fu videos where the kung fu master easily defends against a student all while looking at the camera. Oh, I know that one. I have that one. That's the one where he, like, throws a sword on the ground and just looks away and starts beating the hell out of him. It's a good one. I like it. I'm gonna skip all their quotes. I already know about the Shaolin. What about the Warden? I don't learn very much about those.
Big angry knights.
Essentially. This is from their trailer. The Wardens, member of an ancient order fallen into dust, sworn to defend the weak, masters of the longsword, as we already know. Their origins lost to history, still they fight for what is right, driven by duty, devoted to their people, but only a few may join their order. My controller died.
Wow. right back.
Where's my poopy controller? It makes me angry. Anyways, overview. The Wardens are powerful, noble warriors dedicated to the defense of their land and their people, striking a balance between defense and offense. Wardens wield massive two-handed longswords for slashing enemies and blocking attacks. Trained to be proud, loyal, and brilliant diplomats, the Wardens are expected to embody the highest values of knighthood. Many set out to achieve this, few do.
I have returned.
The Warden's default armor is a set of interwoven metal plates over chainmail, topped by a visored barbuda helmet, whatever that means, made to protect against a stray arrow or blade strike. The partial plate is segmented along the torso, arm, and leg joints to provide great dexterity while still granting plenty of protection in battle. Yeah, the one on his chest kind of covers his heart, so he doesn't get stabbed in the heart. You can get stabbed in the lung all you want, it's the heart that matters.
I just fucked this Shinobi player up.
Also, considering what a human can go through, it wouldn't surprise me if they got stabbed in the lung and they'd be fine.
I mean, probably.
They got stabbed in the heart and then it's just all over. Because you're dead. It's all ogre.
If you get shot in the head,
It's actually possible.
lucky if you live.
It's actually possible to survive being shot in the face. It's very, very rare, but it is possible.
Main reason why I said you'd be lucky.
Yeah.
I think the guy tried to commit suicide with a shotgun and he had to get his face replaced.
Imagine getting your face replaced.
Yeah, it was,
By the way, I changed up Belushi a bit.
it was somebody else's face.
Trivia! The Warden's helmet designs hail from those from the 13th to 15th centuries. Such helmets include the visored barbuta, the Great Helmet, and the visored Sugarloaf. Okay. The Warden's side guard stances are inspired from the... I was going to say the flug stance, a staple of basic medieval swordsmanship dating back to Master, whatever that is, to the 1380s. So it'd be like the 14th century.
There's a chase right here and I want to take it.
Similarly, their top guard stance derives from the, whatever that is, stance from which the wielder can efficiently deploy classic strikes like the Krone or Einhorn strike. One of them, I'm sure, is the deflect. That turns into an unblockable, which is also guaranteed. Oh yeah, I'm streaming, I forgot. Are you watching the stream? Oh.
Victory!
Oh, I got like little doves on the back of my thing.
Round 2.
Keto, huh? Okay, Keto.
Well, what if I had told you bonus in the future? You're fucking zombies now. Better know them.
Victory!
Heads off to you. Hey, stop tossing salad over there.
No.
No
Round
fun.
3.
You must die.
To the top, baby, I dare you. That's not a top.
Wow. Oh, that's a bounty hunter. That's 2 bounty hunters, actually.
Let's do Gladiator. It's kind of obvious what his is, but still. I want to learn more about him.
Victory!
Okay, stop talking cheap.
Overview. The Gladiator is a fighter by trade. They have honed their skills through grueling matches in the arena and are now at the top of their field. They fight for their own personal reasons. Some fight to glory, some fight for their riches, but in the end, they all fight. Their armor is minimal to allow for greater mobility, but also to better highlight their skill. They have won over the crowd in every match, but how they fare when all that skill and training is put to the test in all-out war. The time has come for the Gladiator to pull a performance on the biggest stage they will have ever performed on. Dang. The Gladiators wear very little armor. They possess metal pauldrons and a bronze helmet, as well as bronze greaves. Their torso is covered by a loincloths, while their armor is protected by a manica. I'm just gonna call it armor. So I have no idea what any of these terms are. The weapon, the trident and buckler. Originally a fishing spear, the trident became famous when gladiators started using them in combat. On the other hand, they used the buckler to provide swift protection. I don't want to read all the trivia. Who next? What about PK?
Lightsaber damage increase.
Overview. Quick, lethal, and can win a fight before their enemy even knows they are there. It takes a special type of warrior to be a silent blade. Theirs is not a legacy of glory. They are an instrument of death, wielded to turn the tides of war. You may never see them, but you will feel the difference they make and the trail they leave behind. Their weapons, the sword and dagger. The combination of sword and dagger gives the wielder deadly counterattacking ability, while the dagger lacks in damage and makes for in speed and versatility. Dead. Oh yeah, I forgot I made the stream for Nuxia and I'm not even playing her. You're nearer.
Round 2.
I did know that if lightsaber is glory, if you even slightly got the blade out of it, unbelievable, everybody knows. They basically have the power of the sun or something like that. And like, you lift up the blade, kill everyone.
No, if I die, I want you to revive me. Never mind.
Victory!
Yeah! Yes! Well, there's not much about the PK, so I guess we'll move on to a different hero. I didn't even get hit once. You ever notice that warlord from the story is actually up here? Whatever the hell his name was. You also have Daubeny in the ring, and then that's it. You actually can hear warriors training in the sanctuary, though, if you listen very closely. Every once in a while you hear them yell.
Nut.
Let's look at the Conqueror. Ooh, I got a new mask. Looks pretty neato. It's probably way better than mine. It's kind of the same thing, but it's better.
Oh. I was just talking about the Darth Vader of Grievous.
Overview: ex-prisoners and forced conscripts who have risen to the rank of elite soldier. Originally pressed into military service as sword fodder, those who are skilled enough to survive are prompted out of the rank and file and given heavy infantry training. They're heavily armored warriors relying on a defensive style and their massive flails to whittle away at their opponent's stamina until they fall under the Conqueror's massive onslaught. Climbing from the lowest rank to this prestigious role in the Knight's forces, Conquerors have earned the respect of their peers through determination and feats of arms. They're also terrifying. The default Conquerors wear pot helmets along with plate armor hidden beneath cloths and leather. Oh wow, that's actually armor underneath that? I didn't know that. With their factions color embroidered on it, they have what appears to be a shackle wrapped around their right wrist with a chain wrapped around their arm. The weapon, the Footman's Flail. The flail is one of the most vicious weapons used by the heavy infantry of the Iron Legion. They are made of heavy iron chains linking a stout wooden handle to a massive steel spike ball. The flail inflicts massive wounds to concussion as it crushes both armor and bones. I'd hate to fight. I hate to fight a Conqueror. What the?
Victory!
Well, I'm kind of running out of heroes here, so I guess we'll do Highlander. Highlander is not a typical hard-headed Viking. Ancient alliances and obligations that pulled us into this war, and that's about as much as I can read right now. Otherwise, they would have remained guarding their homelands so they can stay in a defensive posture and stand toe-to-toe with the fiercest of warriors, weathering the flurry of blows with their claymore until they see a momentary weakness, and then they pounce, displaying their true strength and speed revealed with sweeping strikes and heavy blows.
Round 3.
There's a little bit more to it. Oh, Berserker. Well, let's see. They are never going to be the first to jump into battle, as they will plan each move and always be ready to counter. The mountains have made them hard and resilient. War has made them deadly. Highlanders have most of their armor covered by their clothes, but some scale armor can be seen. They have a fur cape and a metal headband. Their pauldrons and greaves are made of leather, and they wear a grey kilt. Their claymore, the heaviest and longest sword on the battlefield, it slashes through the defenses of the opponent's shield and armor like butter. Wow. I'm going to read their trivia because it's actually kind of cool. Though a part of the Viking faction, the Highlander appears to hail from Scotland and only assists the Vikings due to ancient alliances between the two people. The Highlander may also draw some inspiration from the Gallowglass, Norse Gaelic mercenaries famously known for the use of the claymore. I'm going to back us out, we don't have much longer. We have like 5 minutes. The term claymore originates from the Scottish, whatever that is, which translates to either to great sword or broadsword. The term was first documented in reference to the basket-hilted swords of the 18th century favored by Highland warriors. Its name was in reference to the size relative to the contemporary small sword. While the official description says the claymore is capable of cutting through armor, actual claymores are unable to cut through steel armor, although it is able to cut through leather or cloth. It is worth noting that the Highlander's claymore is larger than its historical counterparts. Larger. The weapon more closely resembles an exaggerated form of the 16th century greatsword, a weapon more associated with the German... whatever that is. A combat-ready example is rarely exceeded 8 pounds and traditionally functioned as a lightweight area denial weapon in the hands of professional bodyguards. Cool.
No,
The phrase "done my glass," said by the Highlander when he enters his offensive stance, is a Scottish war cry that can be traced back to the Highland Scottish clans. I wonder if it traces back to one of my clans. I'm in a clan. It's dead, but it's still a clan, okay?
it was a clan.
Well, technically it is, it just doesn't have a leader. So now we're just kind of dormant. We got nothing to do. The phrase can be understood in two ways: as a motto or as a battle cry dedicated to the clan seat. The two are not one and the same. As a motto, the phrase can be translated as "touch not the cat when his claws are out," or, to put it in the context of the Highlander, "do not try to challenge a Highlander that is ready to fight." As a battle cry, it refers to Dunmaglass as the clan seat, the home of the clan. In Scottish Gaelic, it is written as Dunmac something. It is, and literally means in this context, "for the fortress of the Sons of Glass." The Highlander's current voice actor is that guy. The name for the signature, whatever that is the motto of Clan Cameron, and translates to "Let us unite." Cool. Well, that's pretty much all the heroes.
Goth GF just buried a Sith Lord in the ground.
Well, I'm gonna end stream here. I'll make another one tomorrow.